Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Our Schools program on Channel 13, where we highlight people and programs in our school district. My name is Ryan Gavigan. Today, my guest is Mrs. Riana Milne, who is a student assistance counselor at Winslow Elementary School and who has co-authored a book named Watch Me, the bold new motivational attitude for personal success with her daughter. And she's here to talk with us a little bit about her book. Welcome, Ms. Riana.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Very good. Yourself?
Fine. Great. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you, too. Well, first, I would like to know, what inspired you to write this book?
Several things. I guess the whole story begins when I was a 16-year-old girl and my best friend was killed by a drunk driver. And at that time, I realized how precious life was. It was really a gift, and I didn't know how much more time I would be given. So I had a lot of dreams and a lot of goals that I wanted to reach at that time. I guess I was a junior, senior in high school. And I started to look at things a lot differently. I became a more spiritual human being and started to make mini goals for things that I wanted to accomplish. And that's what started it. At age 23, my best friend from Penn State was murdered by her boyfriend. So again, that was a second loss in my life. And I had to learn how to deal with that and carry forward and become a little bit more serious again with my goals and what I wanted to do in my life. At age 27, I had my own model and talent agency and school in Erie, Pennsylvania. And throughout my hardships of dealing with the losses and some emotional financial hardships I was going through in my young 20s and finding ways to get out of those hardships and hard times, I used a lot of the techniques that are in this book. With the model and talent agency, I was teaching models, actors, singers, and dancers how to come from a small town and compete in the large markets of LA and New York City. So it was an internal motivational process to gear up for greatness, to get motivated to change, to overcome tough times. And I found that this technique, this attitude really worked for them to succeed in the large markets when everybody was putting them down and saying they're not good enough and they'll never will make it. You know, and unfortunately, some of the people that put us down first is our family or our close friends, or they laugh at you and say, no, you'll never be this or you'll never be that. So it was a book once I saw my talent accomplish this attitude and get their dreams and goals met that I said, I have to write this now in a book. So it was a book, long time in coming, but I was very busy in my life, and I finally got to write it last spring, and it hit the market in August.
Now, I see that you wrote this book with your daughter,
Yes.
Alexi Panos, who is a professional singer, actor, model, and dancer, so it definitely takes after you. Now, what made you want to do the project together?
Alexi is my youngest daughter. I also have an older daughter, Stefan, Nicole, also a singer-writer, actor, very talented herself. But Alexi, at a very young age, wanted to be a pop star. Okay, this is the time of Britney Spears, and that was very big. And a lot of young people dreamed to be an actor or a singer. And I started this attitude with both my children. As a matter of fact, the chapter on parenting goes into some of the tips I used in raising my children that I found worked from just some of the reading and research that I've done. And we started, as I would suggest anyone else start, whether they were my children or one of my actors or models in my school, was starting with mini goals. What small steps did they have to take first to go from A to Z, which is their final dream? And I asked Alexi to write it with me because she did reach a good level of success. She is on 2 multi-platinum CDs singing with Ja Rule. She is on over 7 music videos, some with Usher, Memphis Bleak, Shanti. She was on several TV pilots, on CNN, Showbiz Tonight. She was on a runway show called BET Rip the Runway, which is a major runway show with top singers of the day. So she is modeling, singing, acting, dancing, doing everything she dreamed of, and she hit her success at about age 19. But she was also an excellent student. She got straight A's all through school, and she was even able to exempt 11th grade. So, and the ironic thing was, her father did not think she would make it as a singer. So she had a lot of put down and doubts from one side of her family. And so no matter, the book Watch Me is about no matter how much you're doubted or put down or told you're not good enough, you can do this internal process, this attitude to make it. And she is a prime example. So I wanted her to write her side of the story. I think young people learn from young people. So I wanted her as a young person to reach the teen category that I was striving for in the book, because it is written for age 12 and up. And I do work with a lot of adolescents, of course, and children, not only in the schools, but in my therapy practice in Egg Harbor Township called Therapy by the Sea. And I work with a lot of kids and who have these dreams and goals, and people are just telling me, "Oh, you'll never do it." And I said, "Yes, you can do this. And, you know, let's break it down to these mini goals and what you have to start with first." And Alexi is a success story, and I had many success stories from my school and agency. I mentioned them in the book. But it's also for the businessman. It's also for the mom that suddenly finds herself divorced or separated and starting a new life with minimal money and a lot of fears. I was in those shoes, you know, and everything I talk about happened to me too. You know, most of my life I've worked 80-hour weeks and 5 jobs to raise my children as a single woman the way I wanted to raise them, and it's very difficult. So you have to be motivated, you have to have this internal focus and drive and a sense of spirituality to make it during the tough times. So that's why I invited Alexi to write with me, because she was one of the success stories that uses this process.